Imagine this for a second. The power goes out. And I don't mean for an hour, I mean for days. A huge storm just blew through, the roads are totally blocked, and all those services we just take for granted, they're gone. Now, we all hope that scenario never happens, right? But being ready for it, well, that can make all the difference in the world. So let's walk through the simple steps that can turn a potential crisis into something you can actually manage. So, let me ask you this. 5 minutes, that's it. The clock is ticking and you've got to leave your home right now. What do you grab? It's a really stressful, chaotic thought. But what you decide to take, or even better, what you've already prepared, could literally define your next few days. So why is this number, 72 hours, so incredibly important? Well, 3 days, that's how long emergency planners say you need to be ready to be completely on your own after a major disaster. Look, first responders are going to be out there, they're heroes, but they can get overwhelmed in a big event. It might actually take them up to 3 days to reach you. And in that critical time gap, guess what? You are your own first responder. You've got to be ready to take care of yourself and your family. And that really brings us to this powerful idea. Being prepared isn't about being scared. Not at all. It's about being smart. The little things you do today are what give you safety and a sense of control when a crisis hits tomorrow. To put it simply, preparation is power. Now, the good news here is that getting prepared doesn't have to be some huge, complicated, overwhelming project. Not at all. There's actually a proven, simple framework that the experts use. It's a really clear path that helps turn all that anxiety into action. So here it is, super simple. 1, get a kit. 2, make a plan. 3, stay informed. And 4, get involved. That's the whole framework. For this explainer, we're really going to zero in on those first 2, because they are the absolute bedrock of being prepared, getting a kit and making a plan. So let's jump in with the first one. Okay, step 1, get a kit. This is probably the most hands-on, tangible part of getting ready. We're talking about the physical stuff you're going to need to get through those first 72 hours. And hey, this isn't just for people who own homes. If you rent an apartment, live in a dorm, it doesn't matter. Having a kit is absolutely critical for everyone. So what's the end goal look like? Honestly, it's pretty simple. We're talking about one container, maybe a big plastic bin, maybe a backpack, that has all of your essentials in one place. The whole key here is making it easy to grab and go. You want to store it somewhere you can get to it in a hurry, like a closet right by the door, or maybe in the garage. All right, so what actually goes inside this kit? Let's start with the absolute non-negotiables. First up, the stuff that keeps you alive, water. You want to aim for 1 gallon per person per day. Don't forget your pets, and of course, a 3-day supply of food that won't spoil. Think canned goods, energy bars, that kind of thing. Next, you need information and safety. That means a battery-powered, or even better, a hand-cranked radio so you know what's going on. A flashlight or a headlamp with extra batteries is a must, and a simple whistle to signal for help. Oh, and please, don't forget a manual can opener, because all that canned food won't do you much good otherwise. Okay, moving on to health and safety. You've got to have a good first aid kit, no question. And any personal items, like your prescription meds or an extra pair of glasses. Then think about your environment. A dust mask could be a lifesaver, and some basic sanitation stuff, like moist toilets and garbage bags, will be worth their weight in gold. Also, think about tools for your home, like a wrench or pliers to shut off utilities if you have to. And get some old-school paper maps of your area, because your phone's GPS might be totally useless. And finally, protect yourself. Make copies of your important documents and seal them up in a waterproof bag. Look, if you remember nothing else about what to put in your kit, please remember these 2 things: water and light. It's so easy for a disaster to knock out the power grid and mess with the water supply. Just having your own clean water to drink and a reliable light source like a headlamp or a lantern will immediately make a really tough situation so much more manageable. All right, once you've got your supplies gathered, the next step is every bit as important. It's not just about what you have, it's about what you'll do. A good plan keeps your family on the same page, it cuts down on confusion, and it helps everyone know exactly how to react when things get chaotic. This graphic, it really says it all, doesn't it? In an emergency, panic is the enemy, and a plan is the perfect antidote to panic. It gives your family a clear set of instructions so you can act decisively when every single second counts. Now, here is a brilliant and really simple strategy for your plan. Think about it. After a disaster hits your town, what happens? The local phone lines and cell networks get completely jammed up. Everybody's calling everybody. But funnily enough, making a long-distance call is often a lot easier. So by picking one relative or friend who lives out of town to be your central contact, everyone in your family has one single person to call or text to say, "Hey, I'm safe." So let's break down a few of these smart communication tricks. We just talked about the out-of-town contact. Here's another great tip. Send a text instead of making a call. Text messages use way less bandwidth, which means they're much more likely to actually get through a clogged network. And finally, a really easy one, program ICE, that's for in case of emergency, contacts into your phone. First responders are trained to look for those if they find your phone. And you've got to think about this. Emergencies don't wait for a convenient time when everyone's sitting around the dinner table. They can hit when your family is scattered all over town, at work, at school, at home. And that's exactly why your plan needs 2 meeting places. The first one should be right outside your home, for something sudden like a fire. And the second one should be somewhere outside your neighborhood, in case you can't get back to your area at all. So you've got a kit and you've made a plan. That's huge. You've built this incredibly powerful foundation for your safety. But being prepared doesn't just stop with you and your household. Your personal readiness is actually the first step toward building a stronger, more resilient community for everyone. So the next steps on this journey are really about looking beyond your own front door. Staying informed just means signing up for official local alerts so you get real, reliable information when you need it most. And getting involved, well, that could be anything from getting to know your neighbors and their needs to maybe joining a local community response team. Because when prepared people come together, they create this amazing network of support that can withstand almost anything. So let's end with this question. Don't let this whole idea feel overwhelming. Just pick one small thing. One thing you can do right now, today. Maybe it's just putting a couple extra gallons of water in your garage. Maybe it's texting your brother and asking him to be your family's out-of-town contact. Or maybe it's as simple as putting a flashlight and some extra batteries in your car. What's the one step you're going to take today to be ready for tomorrow?